Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam, this the name of the sham. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam, this the name of the sham. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. It's a jam for the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam, this the name of the sham.
Hold it, stop the music!
Ladies and gentlemen.
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 Can I please have your attention?
Now showtime, are you ready? Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, let's go.
Yeah! What's up, people? What's up? Happy holiday season. It is time for a masterclass. First masterclass in a long minute because I've been on the road, traveling around. And how's the song go? I've been around the world and I. So super dope and excited to do this one. We have something fun for you people. Something that comes up in the Ecamm community so much. And I always see people asking the question, how can I? And this to me is one of the coolest things about the Ecamm community. Normally when someone asks a question, even if it's something that we haven't thought about for the app or done for the app, or don't really want to necessarily add it because it's for a select group of people and not for everybody kind of thing, there will always be somebody who goes, you know what, let me think about that. And then they disappear, and 17 Starbucks cups later, or in this case, PG Tips, goes and just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to write an app that does what you guys want. And the person who seems to do that more than anybody else is our guest today, my man Michael Forrest, coming all the way from the lovely UK. What's up, Mr. Mike?
Hello. Hello. I am a coffee drinker. I don't really drink tea, so
okay, good.
but I would drink PG Tips if I did.
All right, you're like James Hoffman.
Yeah.
James Hoffman is my other favorite Brit because he drinks coffee more than tea. I love tea actually, because I went to school in Japan, so like I absolutely love tea. I have just a crazy tea closet as I do my coffee closet, and they're side by side. And yeah, the bags that are too tight, sometimes once in a while they blend over, like you can get flavor cross. But that being said, my favorite thing, Mr. Michael, is every time the community needs something, you just like, you know what, I think I can do that, and then you just do it. And that level of like, us duct tape kids that grew up just unscrewing and duct taping and gluing everything, I appreciate finding another one of us because we're a rare breed these days. And I love the fact that you just see it and say, I see a problem, and I know people will love this, so let me go and do it. And so far you've been killing us with great stuff. So what do you make today? What did you do?
Well, so one of the popular things is, so I guess I'm known for my camera app, Shoot, but one of the things that I added to that was the ability to draw over the top of your camera. So something I wanted to do for a while was to turn that into its own iPad app, because sort of doing it on a little screen is a little bit of a pain, and it's never quite the same thing. So I wanted to be able to see my face and just be able to draw and add things and say hello and just and have a really nice Apple Pencil experience and just do a really nice job of the Telestrator thing. So I've got some little slides actually. So yeah, here are my things. So you might be aware of Shoot. Beat Sheet is a Mac app that I have, which I'm currently running, that is very integrated with Ecamm. But the thing I'm talking about today is Video Pencil. That I just wanted to, so that came out last week, and I just wanted to sort of introduce everyone here to how it works, and because it's such a nice experience with Ecamm Live. You literally just sort of, so the way it works is you have Video Pencil on your iPad, you have Ecamm running on your Mac, and they just connect over NDI and pop up. So you have Ecamm running here, you have your iPad. This is sending the video of whatever you've got, like, so it could be your desktop, it could be graphics, it could be anything that you have in your Ecamm Live scene, and then that will just come back in as an overlay, and it'll all be nice. And I want it to be a super simple, super seamless experience. Am I coming through smoothly, or is this a bit choppy?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, okay. So that's sort of how it connects, and then I thought I'd just show you how it looks in Ecamm Live if I go into demo mode in Ecamm. So if I'm drawing in Video Pencil, it just literally comes up like that as I don't know if you can see my mouse pointer, but it comes up as an overlay, and just like a camera, or I have it set as a you can do it in your overlays window as well, but I like to do it that I've got like quite a complicated scene going here, so I've got it as an overlay, and I can just like take you through. This is how it looks IRL, and if I switch this over so it doesn't get quite so recursive. So it looks like this. So I've just got my pencil, I can see myself here, and I can just send that back and forward to Ecamm. So and then I've got my nice little here's my sort of demo mode. So the drawing it uses Apple's drawing tech, so it's super responsive, super sort of pressure sensitive, so you can go from a thin line to a thick line, no problem, and that's all really nice. And then something I spent a long time on was these little you have 5 little pens that you can choose from, and each of those you can set to a different thickness and a different color. So if you've got certain colors that you want to always use, or thicknesses, and I individually rendered out these pens. I downloaded 3D models, found the right ones that looked just right, that you could tell by eye which the thickness. So when I change the thickness of the red pen, it changes to this big fat pen, and when I change it back down to the normal one, it goes to a thinner and thinner one. So I was really so just so you can see at a glance, okay, that's going to be a nice big thick pen, and if I want it to be a different color, I can just go into.
Did you send that feedback to the radar so that they can understand that they should have just had that done a long time ago? It's brilliant.
Who's that? The rate on Apple. Well, this is. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've just rebuilt this. So this bar looks like the Apple one, but I actually rebuilt this from scratch. So it was exactly how I wanted it to work.
That's what I mean. And so
having
the cool
other
part
stuff
is
in it. Yeah.
Because you rebuilt it the way that it looks normally, people who've already been using the regular way won't have to learn something new, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Every other pencil-oriented app has a tendency to redraw the things stylistically how they want it. And that's good and bad. It's good because it looks cool, but it's bad because you get used to using a pencil. It should be the same seamless experience across most of the apps. And if you happen to add something better, have an icon on the end that says, let me open this. You remember that box of 64 crayons that had all the colors? Let me hit that and then switch to something different. Yeah. So I like the way you did it, and I like the way you expand the size.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I found that I just kept wanting to do certain things and ended up just jumping in and rebuilding it. And but I've kept the cool stuff about it, so you can you can draw something.
Works as well, right?
Yeah, so I've done that, so you can move things around and you can erase. And there's certain things like there's certain features that I'll have to add back in again, because I have this like my flagship, my invention is live titles, where you can just draw a line and go hello, and that will hello, and that will just add in the text for you. So if you've drawn a little diagram and you want to add some text to it, and you want to say this is a house, you can literally just add in text like that, and then that can be moved around in exactly the same way. So we can sort of move that around and delete something, and so if you run out of space, move things around. So that's how that all works. And then
hold on, wait.
I sort of
Slow down, Michael.
Sorry, did I go too fast through
No,
there?
we're gonna back this entire bus up because
Yeah.
the live title thing, you can't just slide past that like, yo, I'm gonna come by and drop a couple $100 off of your table and leave. You have to wait. You gotta do that. That is freaking so good, and it's really handy for even someone like myself as I'm doing coaching. A lot of times, it's easier to do what you just showed, to put out. Like, okay, you know how we're doing a stream, and then we have one of our crazy statements. And when I say our, I mean me, because, you know, I have these weird random docism statements, and I want to put it on the screen, right? And so I can't type. Like, it takes me a long time to type the thing out. So what I normally do, if one of the people in the chat goes, oh, man, that was great, and they reiterate what I do, I copy and paste it because I can't type that fast. Yeah. And it's cool because with live type, you can just hit the button, say the cool saying, or, you know, the anchoring statement, the motivational statement, whatever, and then
Exactly. You put, say, introduction, and that will just come up, and that can just stay on the screen. You can be talking through your intro, and then you can just clear that out. So I love this, and this is going to come out probably next week, but I have also added the ability to change fonts now, so we can go greetings. And, you know, have it in a nice kind of fun, different font now. So I'm always tinkering with it, always moving it forwards. And so another thing, the latest thing I added was, so when I developed this, I was coming from using it in the classroom and actually being able to integrate it with Ecamm came quite late, and that was a conversation with David Paskin, and he said, can we just chroma key this back and forward? And I was like, oh, NDI can send it so that's how we got this really seamless Ecamm experience. But I'd also been adding these things for real life. We're sending it to an Apple TV or something like that. But this also can be useful with Ecamm too. So we've got this media menu up here, so I can just pick a video from my library. I'm going to pick this slightly crazy one, and just play that and draw all over that, right? And I can resize that and sort of move that out of the way and have that in the corner of the screen and be talking along and annotating that as we go. And that works with videos. You can see, and you can pause that and sort of scan through and find the bit that you want. And you can also load in pictures, and you can go into your files as well if you've got some videos in your files. I'm going to grab. This is me mucking about with 3D software. So these are the pencils in Blender. Yeah, kind of running in. And then something else you can do, say you've got something on your desktop and you just want to take a quick screenshot. So if I take a screenshot of my Chrome window, I can literally go media, paste. That will paste from my laptop. And now I've got that thing that was on my computer, and I can sort of draw around that and say, here's this and here's that. And so it's as easy as that to sort of grab anything from your pasteboard. You could take a screenshot of your phone. You could, that just works with the way all the Apple pasteboard integration works. So anything you want to draw on, it's sort of like within arm's reach. And especially if you start using Ecamm scenes to load things in as well, you can just pause it within Ecamm and draw on top of it in Video Pencil. So that's sort of the main features of Video Pencil. And it all works with NDI. So Ecamm Live, you set up an NDI output from Ecamm Live. That will show up in Video Pencil as a source so that you can see where you are, and then it will just show up as a layer in Ecamm.
That is absolutely
and then just
crazy.
And just to say, I need to try and be a salesperson, So today is the last day of the introductory price, so it will be $39.99. But until the end of today, it's $26.99. So if you just grab that from Squares TV Video Pencil, you can install it for free. You can try it out. You can see if you can get it working. If you do it right now, then if you have any questions, I can answer them maybe right now. So it's the last day of the offer.
Listen, people, I say this all the time about the Ecamm demo, and I'm glad Michael reiterated what I said. When we're doing this type of stuff, open the app and do it now because we're here. We can answer your question. You guys are, oh, you went too fast. Well, have the app open and you can find out. And then you can ask the exact question. Or I don't know how to explain this. So, yes, I'm glad you said that. And you know what's super funny? I told myself, make sure you bring the iPad downstairs when you leave the house. I got all the way down here. I opened the door and then I was like, oh, snap. But I'm like, I'm not going back up because, well, outside right now in our area, it's super foggy. You know, from the volcano dust in the air. And so like 5 minutes outside of my eyes are on fire. That is so cool. I love the fact that you can just like scribble away and then add some things.
Yeah.
And, oh, man. Somewhere between the scribbling and the live text, you know, people, are you paying attention to this? This is freaking incredible. Man, I thought you had me at the delay calculator. That was always my favorite. It's so simple, but it's so important. And this, you just knocked it out of the park with this one. It's quite amazing. I was talking about you yesterday to a developer group. They make an application that's going to allow people to sort of add effects to their microphone before we get a hold of it. And it's really incredible.
Right.
And I was like, oh, you guys need to talk because there's some really cool stuff that they would be able to do because you could even make the microphone that's coming out of the iPhone that you would be using through Shoot. If you're bringing the audio from the iPhone, you can make that sound incredible. It's pretty nuts.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I'm a believer in a big mic, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, me
I grudgingly added that support to Shoot.
Right. So here's a question. First of all, you're going to hate me for this. It's latency. Lag is not a real word. And the reason why I ask you guys to use the proper terminology is because one of these days you're going to be looking for help and you'll be searching under lag and you're not going to find anything because that's not a word. Latency is what it's called. Which latency? The one thing you have to know about live streaming, and let's even forget live streaming. Before Apple computers were ever invented, let's just say just regular TV, the amount of data that you're moving from location 1 to location 2 on your desk, it doesn't even have to leave your house. It's not real time. There is no such thing as real time audio or video, okay? There's always a few milliseconds of latency. As you add more things,
I do have some... I do have some answers to that question. That's because I think I know what they're talking about.
I want to make sure that everybody understands that because I think people think when they're supposed to hear that right away, and it doesn't do that. If you put a calculator on the audio and the video, you will see there's milliseconds of delay between the two items because it has to go down the cableage, hit the processor, actually process, render to the screen, and then your eyeballs see it, right? Some of it has gotten to the point where it's negligible to the human eye. We can't really pick it up. But the minute we go live and I go from Honolulu through 28 servers to California and then go from UK to about 15 to 20 servers back to California, and then we bring those two signals together, there's always that's impossible. So get the real time out of your head and adjust your expectations. Now you can get nerdy.
I'll get into it. Yeah, well, so obviously lag is a part of life when we're dealing with sending video over networks. And one thing I really love about this approach to Video Pencil with the with the round trip over NDI is even if Video Pencil sort of dropped out completely, it wouldn't actually affect your stream because you're still getting your direct video camera stream, whatever's coming through. So we're at the whims of networking and like maybe wireless, maybe wired, depending on how you're connected. But that's something I really love because I thought originally I was going to have to send you on a round trip through the iPad and back, which then if Video Pencil ever started a little bit, that would come through to your production. So that's you're sort of safe from the worst effects of lag. But the way that you connect Video Pencil will affect how solid the connection is going to be. So if you're on Wi-Fi, that can be fine. But if you have a lot of people on your Wi-Fi network, every time someone joins a Wi-Fi network, that creates a stutter in your network. And for everyone on the network, that will create a little stutter. So Wi-Fi is just not really recommended for video. unless it's literally just you on the router, that's fine. So the way I recommend to connect Video Pencil, if you can, is if you connect over USB, Apple will find a network connection and send it through the copper instead of sending it through the air. And that will just sort of happen magically, and I'm not 100% sure how it works, but you will get a much more solid connection if your iPad is connected to your Mac. And if you do have any issues with the connection, I did discover a little trick to just make sure that because sometimes you can be connected and then maybe Video Pencil will see it, but it won't be showing the feed. This is NDI. I'm at the mercy of NDI with all this. But a little trick that I discovered was if you go into System Preferences, if you go into Sharing, and if you go into Internet Sharing, your iPad will show up iPad USB in this list like this. And if you just turn on Internet Sharing, I find it, for the way it works, whatever it does, it happens to create a really reliable connection with Video Pencil, and you'll see much. You'll be less at whims of your Wi-Fi network and whatever other routers are about, whatever else is going on in your the radio. It's all radio signals, right, with a router. Right. So that's my recommendation, basically.
It's building an ad hoc network over the cable because don't do that. It builds an ad hoc network over the cable, and it's like the lightning cable has so many different possibilities because there's basically 16 lines in there. So whereas the standard Ethernet cable is basically using 4 out of the 8, you got 16. It just kind of configures it. So yeah, it's pretty incredible what the lightning cable can do. And yeah, you're right. Here's the unfortunate part about all of this stuff with the NDI is it's not the same every day. That's the part that's crazy. Sometimes when it makes that binding, it didn't get a good bind. It's almost like, something you tape on the wall all the time, and then this year you go to tape up your Christmas lights and that one keeps falling. It's just something in that thing is not binding. So a lot of times the best thing you can do, and unfortunately you can't do this midstream, so you're going to have to test it, is to fire everything up, fire everything down again, and put it back up in reverse order. And 9 times out of 10, it goes away. But that's been the nature of networking for as long as you have. Andre wants to know how about the setup process from the beginning. Is that something that you may be able to do?
Yeah. Well, if I just show you, so if I come back to the iPad view, what's the quickest way to do this? So we're on the iPad. I'll show you. I'll go from the desktop actually. So, sorry, my throat got really dry.
It always happens whenever we start streaming.
Yeah, and I've got my water, and So Ecamm Live, set your output to NDI output, and it doesn't really matter what resolution you do. Obviously, like lower, then it's probably going to be a more stable signal generally. So you turn that on so you've got Ecamm broadcasting its output over NDI. And now when we go into the iPad, here, Ecamm just shows up. So by default, you'll have kind of the camera will be on the iPad. But if you just touch this button here, you should see Ecamm Live, and you just tap on that, and we'll get some feedback because I'm sending that to you. So I'm just going to sort of switch it to the other one. This is what it will look like. And that's just about it, right? That's really all there is to it. If you don't get a transparent feed, or if you get any weird feedback in Ecamm Live, just make sure in settings, this show NDI and siphon titles full screen is checked. Just make sure that's checked, because I've seen a couple of people having issues with that. And that's really all there is to it. So you just run Video Pencil, run Ecamm Live, the NDI you just leave on now, and then Video Pencil will just show up, and it'll just remember what you had selected. So then next time you come to your iPad, just fire up, fire up the iPad and it'll show up.
Thank you, Tati. Oh, this is going to be great for teachers. Oh my goodness, this is super incredible. Now, I have a question. This is maybe absolutely pure insanity, but, I like insanity, so I'll ask anyway. I have about 5 or 6 iPad apps that I run on my Mac Studio, and if I were to plug in my Wacom, Could I run this from my Mac?
I did notice that it was letting me install it from TestFlight actually today, but then it crashed when it launched. I'm
Okay.
sort of I'm in two minds. I'm in two minds on that because for me the whole value of it is having it as a separate iPad thing.
Yeah,
But
100%.
you got to listen to the people. It would not take. I have seen it working on Mac. Like I think I ran it before and it just worked. And I was the Apple Pencil stuff all seems to work. So it could I don't know how that would work with Wacom. Like I like being able to see where I'm drawing, but this is something that is probably like one step away from being achievable.
Oh, so now you're telling
you
me
know.
I have a reason to buy that Cintiq that I keep wanting, but I never pull the trigger.
I think you'll still get a better experience on the iPad.
Yeah. When I go to
Sorry.
Japan, right, there's a store that's kind of like their version of Best Buy or whatever. It's just, fancy electronic store called Yodobashi Camera, and they always have the gigantic Cintiq on display. And you just go up there, and I'm like, oh, I really want one of these, but I am not about to spend $4,000 on a really nice size one. You can get a mini one for like $1,300, but the one you see, the guys that design cars or they're doing like the movie artwork, that thing is beautiful. Unfortunately, the current models are all PC based. They used to have it so you connect it to your Mac and then it would be like a monitor to your Mac, but now they actually build the whole computer in and they're kind of PC based, so not a fan. But they're beautiful. They're beautiful. One day we'll get there. This is super great. I think the cool part of it is the simplicity of it on the surface. Under the end, you got a lot going on. Like, I just wish people.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't even know.
I'm Apple developer, so I get it, right? I'm not you. I just poke in there so I can know what I'm doing for tech support reasons. And at the company, they kind of made us learn a little bit of stuff. But man, this is just incredible. The amount of stuff that's going on under the surface to give people that smooth experience, I really wish people would understand, because that's one of the things that I get frustrated with for us, because we make the app look super simple. The amount of stuff that's going on under the hood in Ecamm is psychotic. And everyone's, well, how come it doesn't do this? And I'm like, well, ready your damn self. Get away. You're bothering me. Like, I'm not allowed to say that. People get mad at when I say that because it's frustrating that you don't understand how dope it is. But I think Dean mentioned earlier, when software is really good, it does have that sort of semblance of magic. It's like you've been to Diagonally and, picked up a Video Pencil Mora or whatever, and, it just works, right? So that's really cool. Tati has a question. Go ahead. Jump in.
Yeah, no, I find that you're building something, and you're dealing with all this complexity, and you're trying to make it work, and you're figuring out this and that and the other, and this video feed is upside down, and this one's, wrong color, and you've got all this stuff going on. And then when it works, it's almost, it's like, oh, is that it? It's sort of like, when you've done a good job, it's like, oh, is that it? Like, it doesn't look like anything. So it's this weird thing that happens. It's in any kind of design as well. It's like, if it's good, it's like, oh, doesn't seem like very much.
Mike,
if it's bad, it
friends,
seems like
and
this
you
really
just
complex
hurt my
thing.
feelings, because that's exactly what my mom said when the doctor gave me back to her. She was like, oh, is that it? All right, Tati says,
Deary me.
can you please
live title,
review
yeah.
live titles once more? Let me put you over here.
Yeah, and let me come over to the iPad view. And it's actually a bit easier with a finger. So you draw a line with your finger, and that's going to be the size of the text. And then you just speak while you're drawing and hold your finger down. So we go, hello, and that's just going to show up like that. It works with a pen as well, like it gets out that way. How are you today? And you can go, question mark. Which I quite like as well. I just discovered you could do that today. You see it's like lagging a bit on the screen, but that's fine because it's, if we come back to me, I'm still fine. So that's pretty much all there is to it. You just draw the line, and then it's if you do notice. I wish I had a bigger Stream Deck to switch back up, go to the menu. If you're not sure if it's registering, if you look at the little button here, so when you've got a line that will be a live title, that will be lit up. But if you sort of go off piece, that's going to fade out. So if you're sort of drawing normally. It's not listening for titles. But as soon as you're drawing a straight line, it's going to come up, and then that will be the color of text. That will be the color of it. So I'll be white. I'll be white. And obviously, contextually, it's doing speech recognition. If it's just one word, if I think I was trying to say Ecamm, your Ecamm Live scene, very hard to get it to pick that up as the one you meant. But then, yeah, like if you just want to label something really small, then you can that's just going to be really small down there. And if you want it to be big, you can just like say less and make a longer line. So I think that covers it.
Man, that's incredible. You know what's funny is while you're doing live typing, okay, so we have these live streaming perfectionists out here in the world, and they're always like, oh, this is not doing this or this is not doing that. And I'm like, yeah, you got the message. You got to learn how to grab the message when you're watching live. So even when you're watching lives, you should be listening to the content and catching it tightly instead of like, tweaking out over, they put scene EEN instead of CEENE. I almost couldn't say it right. I'm like, did you understand what the person meant? Yes, you have to learn how to learn in a live stream because life happens. It always will. It will always do something. So just prepare yourself and, yeah, it's easy. And then if you understood, you understood. I mean, that's the way human brains work anyway. Paul has a question. He says, Paul, make sure you put your Q in the front of the question, Paul. Would it be possible to have an option to rotate the screen? My layout needs a power cord to be on the right side. Actually, so does mine because I have an M1 iPad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. You just turn your iPad around and it'll be the right way up.
So
no
Paul, you
problem.
probably have
Are you telling me you're
lock on.
trying? It's not working? Yeah,
No, you might have rotation lock on
by
by accident because that happens from time to time.
Should we try it?
This is super funny, Paul. You say that on the Manchester United app, and it pisses me off. It will always load upside down, and then when I rotate the iPad, it won't always go back around, and it's only that app. And I'm like, well, that about explains my team right now. So it kind of works. Andre said, do we need a special code for the price? It's currently $39.99 in the App Store.
Oh, no. As my price, do I not understand how the price scheduling works? You don't need the code. Let me just quickly sort that out.
You know what it might be, too? It went by the clock in the UK versus us.
I never know what time zone those things are set in.
I know, right?
So I
when
don't
we
know
go
if
to
it
all
includes the date that
GMT,
you set. Or...
I will be so happy when we go to all GMT. The problem is most people don't understand that either, but as a military person, like, this is how we do it.
Let's just
Tati
make sure that
works,
that's right.
Paul, so your iPad is just angry or Maestro is stepping on the cord.
Oh dear. Right. In-app purchases, literally right this minute, just checking the price schedule. Oh no, look at that. I thought it shouldn't have rolled over, so I will just, I need to remember what tier number it was. I think it was 27. 27. And then you may, for it to show up, you may need to force quit the app to make it see the new price. So
anybody that downloaded the regular app before the in-app purchase, just open and close the app and it might work. Oh man, yeah,
force quit maybe. But yeah, that should be correct now. I just updated it on the
See, now I'm sad I left my iPad upstairs. I'm gonna play with it today. This is super, super cool. Yeah, I'm gonna end up using this on Friday on the demo because. Oh, hold on, wait. I think you did this, but let me just make sure I get this right before I screw this up. I can send the NDI out of Ecamm, so when I'm showing the live demo mode from Ecamm, and what I could do is use my other Mac because I got 3 in here. I can use the other Mac and send that live demo scene to here, and I can actually draw on the interface to show people that says, "Oh, I can't see the button." You use the app every day. You're on the dang button. Sorry, I'm salty.
Yeah, maybe I can. Yeah, like it's actually quite nice. So one really nice thing about this is I've always got my program monitor just there in front of me, so I can always see what's coming out. And sometimes that's really helpful because I forget that I didn't turn off demo mode, and that can happen a lot, right? So now, like I actually love having it just running, even if I'm not drawing anything, because it's just this really useful external monitor for Ecamm.
Oh, that's actually pretty. Dean said you fixed the price on the fly. That's amazing. Hey, I don't know if you saw this thing. It's kind of not a new product, but they've been hyping it up a lot. There's a company called Ecamm, and they have a little white bug that you can stick on the back of an iPad, and it basically allows your iPad to have a capture card, right? So
the camera thing.
Yeah, it's like a camera
the
thing.
capture. Yeah.
But those, and it sends that wirelessly to another place, right? So it captures it there, but it basically sends the signal wirelessly to another place. So in theory, for someone that was doing like golf or tennis or whatever, you'd have your camera set up with that little guy on the back, and then there's an iPhone sending it back to the iPad, and you can show, you got to tuck your elbow in, or you got, you know what I mean? So the fitness-oriented people, the people like, I have a whole bunch of friends in California that work at a place called Bechtel, and they put sensors in the bridge, and then they walk around with the iPad, and the iPad tells you the torsions and whatever, and they have to do all these reports in the field. But we're not that far from them being able to send that back on the fly. So, if they get a weird vibration sensor going off on the bridge, they go to it right away because they don't want to have a Tacoma Narrows type thing. And now they're basically using telemetry to capture data that they can then send back to engineers and try to figure things out. We're not that far removed from them to be able to capture it, draw on it, be like, we need to throw in like a 10-inch slug bolt right here and then bring some heat, close this thing. I mean, you're opening up like possibilities that, it's hard to describe.
Well, let me tell you, like it's been so it's been so interesting unlocking that. The NDI is, I sort of resisted it a bit because there's sort of troubleshoot it. You kind of need to be a network expert, which not many people are. But what is it opens up all these possibilities for sending data, sending video all over the place, using third-party cameras, external cameras, webcams, other monitors, different computers. It can all be sending that information all over the place, and that's it's been interesting to see what Jim Innes, who's an eye surgeon in the north of the UK. I'll show you the things on the website, but he's got this whole. I don't know if you can see this, but
yes, hold on.
He's got this whole wet lab, this lab situation, and he's got cameras, and he's built this magnetic table, and he'll have like a microscope with an NDI camera on it. That'll be coming through to the iPad, and then he'll be telestrating on the iPad, and that'll be coming up to this Apple TV behind him. And so the way he's got that integrated, and he's got his own network, and it's all set up really, really cleverly, and he's mad for NDI. It's he sort of convinced me to add NDI to Video Pencil in the first place, because I still kind of have a plan to roll my own Apple native networking things so that it's just all as close to the Apple frameworks as possible. But just with NDI, being able to just connect to any of these devices it really unlocks a lot of possibilities.
And that is super cool. Yeah, I had my LASIKs done, and one of the things that was cool is they had it connected up to a recorder and on the TV. And so, like, I can see the whole video of when the laser goes, and it, like, just scratches off the top cornea, and then they cut it out with the glue it back down. They line it up so that the lens is straight, and then it's done. It literally takes, like, 2 minutes per eyeball. And when you stand up, you're like, holy crap, I can see. It's incredible. It's super incredible. Yeah.
My glasses. So it's funny. I asked Jim to send me some pictures and stuff of how he's using it, but it was like, have you got any like ones that aren't a bit gross? It's eye surgery.
I kind of liked it, but what's funny? Because of my age, I had to pick whether I wanted near or far, and I'm like, I don't mind wearing these at the computer. They're just plain Jane magnifiers. Right. Like there's no prescription, but like without them, yo, I can see like flies taking pollen off of a burger or whatever down the street. Like it's incredible. I got my really long distance vision back, and so it's great for photography, videography type stuff. But whenever I gotta hold something within 36 inches of my face, I'm like, it's kind of incredible. Well, Michael, man, thank you for again coming up with another heater. I am gonna go get this sucker and add it to my iPad right now. Give me something to do. This is going to be
Splendid.
super fun. Tati says, I kept trying, but I couldn't get live title to work, but I figured out you have to hold the line for a couple seconds. Yes. Yeah, there
you
she
go.
said, once the title is there, can you move it?
You can. It's just because of the way it's integrated. It's not always the easy. It's not as easy to do as it could be. But if I just show you on the iPad,
thing.
you can pick it up. You just can't tell very well that it's picked up. So if I just show you,
I got you
if
set
you
up.
take us back to the iPad, if I've lost my Apple Pencil. Right. So if I go hello, the easiest way is to draw something around it, and now you know exactly where you're moving it to when you move it, but it just won't drag along with it. But what you will see, if you don't do that, hello, it will sort of you'll see that it sort of picked this area down.
The baseline.
You'll see that it's sort of picked an area of the baseline. So it's sort of picking the area of the line that you originally drew, basically. So, but if you just drag that, you have to click on the line, you can move it like that. So I find it works best if you sort of draw something around it and move it around. But it is something that I want to make that slightly. Because I'm using Apple stuff, it's then quite hard to shove in other stuff in on top of Apple stuff, and so I'm still kind of working on making that 100% smooth. But you can move them, yeah.
So good. So good. This is super incredible. Man, I appreciate you for coming through and always thinking of us as you come up with cool stuff. This one you knocked it out of the park. You knocked it out of the park. So definitely we are going to probably want to remember, people, when you see someone, anybody who watched this today, everybody who's hanging out, first of all, smash the like button. Like really 30 of you guys watching this, 6 people pressed the button, and Mike made this incredible app for you, okay? And then the other thing is one of you guys are going to see someone in the community that says, hey, I want to be able to draw and da-da-da-da. And everybody's been doing it the way Tati's been doing it, which is going in, making a green little thingy and doing some other craziness. No,
Yeah.
Tell them to go get Video
I need to
Pencil
do that anymore.
and make their life a heck of a lot easier. Hold on. Katie gave me a promotional code. If you happen to miss today, right now the sale is popping, and so the sale is good. The promotional code would stay inside our Ecamm perks, but it literally is Video Pencil. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what you put?
I don't really have a way to do promos on the App Store, so I have to sort of say, okay, this date it will be this price. Everyone kind of jump on
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
now.
right. That is the humbug part about the
Yeah,
App Store.
it is a pain. The only way to do it is if you have subscriptions, but I'm just such a believer in lifetime purchases that I just really want to make things lifetime unlocked. So it just makes it hard for me to do offers. But I'm about to redo how shoot pricing works and sort of sneak in a way that I can start to do offers. And so once I'll then be bringing that, and that will integrate with Squares TV, so I can sort of send a discount
here's
price
a
for
question.
backdoor.
Have you done the bundle? You know, like in the App Store, if I download Shoot, I can say add this other app for, a special price. Have you done that?
Well, they have to all be paid apps, so they have to. It's really restricted what you can do, and I would love to be able to do more offers and things, but Apple makes it really hard to do. Is if you have like a freemium app like this, but I didn't want to make it an upfront purchase because I don't know what people's networks are like. I want them to be able to try it out before they actually hand over the money, just like it works for you with a watermark. But it just sort of limits my ability to do super easy promo codes, but. Believe me, it's something I'm working on. It's just like after today, it's going to go back to full price. But I'm hoping
buy it today.
sort of early next year, I'll be able to. I'll give you an offer code that you can use in the Ecamm perks. early next year, and also for Shoot as well. And we'll just go through Stripe, and we'll sort of go in the back door because
right,
it's the only way to do it. Apple won't let me.
You're kind. You and Katie both are kind. I'm a coach, and I'm a hardcore coach, right? I'm the coach I'm Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm going to yell at you. People, it's worth every bit of the regular $40 price. Okay, it's actually probably worth like 80, but he was nice enough to do it at 40. So who cares about the dang promo code? Just buy the damn thing. Because more than likely, if you're having to do this, you're doing it for a reason that you're going to make that money back anyway. So let it go. Let it go. Just buy it. Marco said, you have to reboot the app, Marco.
Yeah, you might have forced quit. So come out and swipe up. I think I sort of did the tier from memory. I think I've selected the wrong one, but it should be. It's like 13 tiers below normal price, so it's a decent discount. And also, something will be happening as I go forward. I've got some other stuff I'm going to be doing with this. So it's a Telestrator. I would love to get some sort of action replay feature in there. So it's rewind what just happened. Right. So that will be another in-app purchase unlock. And then maybe if you've got a bit more of a sort of presentation, a sequence of images and movies and things like that, I want to sort of wrap that up into some sort of presentation mode as well, and then that would be another feature. So it won't end, but all the sort of essential, like necessary, important stuff will all be included in that lifetime price, and it will just be extra
you gave me a good
fancy
question.
Stuff that will.
I tend to like to do. And most people don't understand this because they've been trained that doing all of these fancy animations in their presentations somehow make them better. They don't. They actually make them worse. But I like to do my presentations as basically PDFs and just change pages into PDFs because I'm never worried about the machine doing something weird or, all the other stuff that comes with it. The other thing that's really cool about PDFs at the end, worst case scenario, you can print them suckers out and just hand it to everybody and still do your presentation. So my teacher in school, when I was in business school, they were like, you're allowed 7 words on the slide, never more than that for any reason whatsoever. If you have to have more than 7 words, explain it with your face, put mostly images, but most people didn't go to that school. So can I open the PDF and change pages, or is it still I got to do it as individual JPEGs or PNGs, whatever?
I haven't actually played with I haven't tried PDFs, but I can't. I'm so excited to tell you. Like maybe this isn't today, maybe this is another day. Beat sheet I have. If you put me full screen, let me show you.
Yeah.
So you see this title that's coming on screen. This is coming from a little script I put together in Beat sheet that is controlling Ecamm. So if I go forward now, it's going to load in a graphic, and like a super simple graphic, doesn't need to be complicated, but that's coming in from Beat sheet. So I won't go into that too much. But I've got, I think, and so the way that looks on my desktop is here's my beat sheet thing. So I can just put a title, I can drag in a graphic, and I can just step through these, and it'll select the scene that I want. So that when I'm doing a presentation, I can sequence through those and just have a nice simple deck. And so I literally today exported my keynote deck and pulled in a few slides from that just so that I had them panned as part of this little beat sheet document. But maybe we can, it's still a little bit unstable, but maybe in a couple of weeks, but maybe in a few weeks I can come back and sort of tell you all about how beat sheet is kind of it's just I'm loving it for presentation now.
Right.
And it's
when we did shoot back a couple of months ago, we were talking. You were just getting Beat Sheet rolled out, and you were super excited about it. And now I see you've been cranking away. I'm gonna need you to go to bed, okay? I need you to go to bed and get some freaking sleep, man.
I swear I literally burnt myself out so much. I did a show, like an exhibition in Birmingham on my own, 4 days talking to people all day, and I was already kind of burnt out, but I've never had sort of such strong burnout as I had recently, so I have to be careful. But I get so excited about this stuff. I just lost 3 weeks to burnout, basically. Just I was back to launch video pencil.
Okay, yeah.
So I've got to be careful, So yeah,
it's time for a happy Christmas and just slow down and just relax.
Oh yeah.
And like watch the last 16 of the World Cup. People, you guys,
Smell roses.
go do this thing right now. Just go get it and play with it, because I know that I'm gonna get it. I know Paul already got it. Tati got it. Dean, I think Dean picked it up. So if you get stuck, just pop into the Discord or pop into the Facebook group and just tell everybody what's going on. And we'll send things to Michael so he can work on them in January. Okay, we're gonna let the man rest.
And
so good.
And there is a video. There is a Squares TV Discord as well. If you want to come and that's where there's lots of discussion on Video Pencil and other stuff on there as well. So if you just come to Squares TV, there's a link to Discord.
All right, there you go.
I'm on there all the time. So.
Nice. Guys, this is super, super cool. Thank you, Michael. I cannot tell you how cool this is. Okay, let's test out your live thing for one last thing. So draw a line and see if it recognizes the word mahalo.
Mahala. Oh, Mahala.
You got
Is
it.
that it?
Holy
Is that right?
Don't use bad
Well,
words
it's
in
actually-
Ecamm stream.
It's actually better on longer words. Like if it's a more complicated word, like I don't know, what's a medical word? It's really good at those because it sort of knows exactly what it's hearing.
Hypertension.
Hypertension. Oh, look, hypertension. You see, like
Yeah.
it'll just do that, no problem. Stracciatella. No, that's Italian. Sorry.
Dude,
I will
love
be adding
stracciatella.
the language in.
I love stracciatella. It's so good. Man, when that thing starts allowing me to speak Japanese and it understands, it's on.
No, it's going to happen. It's one or two updates away. It actually does it in Shoot. I just need to add it into Video Pencil properly.
Oh, it's so good. It said it even worked with the English accent.
Yeah. Well, I think it's set to British, my iPad, so if I said it in America, it probably wouldn't.
So good. I had my Siri as like the British lady for a while, and I just felt like I was being judged by my phone, so I had to turn it back.
I've got mine
"This
on the
is
Irish
Teresa.
one. Yeah.
Listen, Teresa says your calendar has an appointment with Michael. And I was like, all right, listen, leave me alone, lady. All right, gang, you guys have been awesome. Mr. Michael, you've been awesome. I hope you have yourself a happy Christmas and just,
Yes,
like,
you too.
at least slow down until Boxing Day, okay? Like, we need to keep you around. You got this stuff wired. You guys rock, man. Let me play some of this theme music on the way out of here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on again. It's really appreciated. Happy Christmas, happy holidays.
I broke my master seed for my goodbye, so I have to do this.
Coming straight out of Ecamm. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the jam. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the jam. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam.